Hey, how you viewers doing? It's TVB, and this is my last video that I'm gonna be filming in Nebraska. I forgot to turn on all the lights before. It's snowing like crazy right now here in Scottsbluff. Wednesday was my last day interning at the zoo here in Scottsbluff. I was at the Riverside Discovery Center for 12 weeks. I'm afraid this is, the Nebraska adventure ends here, and if you guys hear that weird rattling noise, it's my space heater. And I wanted to just share my top 5 favorite movies of 2003. Like I made my top 5 favorite movies 2013 the other day, to honor the films that turned 10 years old this year. I decided to do the same thing for the films that turned 20 this year. And yeah, this has been like an annual tradition on my channel ever since 2019, when I did my whole top 5 favorite movies 2009 for the films that are turning 10 that year. And yeah, I know I usually throw some gameplay over these kind of videos. I do a voiceover and throw some Call of Duty or Minecraft or whatever game it is I'm playing at the moment. But I figured since it's my last day in Nebraska, I could just sort of just pace around my apartment and just rank my 5 favorite movies of 2003. I'm filming this on January 29th, so hopefully get on to editing it and uploading it either tonight or tomorrow when I'm back in Denver at my uncle's house. And yeah, the next big adventure awaits starting in March. But with that all being said, let's hop in my list. I have 4 honorable mentions. Brother Bear is a very underappreciated Disney film. You guys should seriously watch it if you haven't gotten a chance. Beautiful animation, great soundtrack, and a really unique Ice Age setting too. Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl. Oh man, I love Johnny Depp, and that was arguably the only great Pirates of the Caribbean film. All the sequels, we don't talk about those. And The Cat in the Hat and Looney Tunes Back in Action. I'm giving these 2 films honorable mentions because they're 2 of my biggest guilty pleasure movies. I can understand why they were so trashed by the critics and the audience. Dr. Seuss's widowed wife vowed that there would be no more live action adaptations of her dead husband's works. I just think it's hilarious. But those, the Cat in the Hat movie with Mike Myers and Looney Tunes Back in Action and Brandon Fraser, those are just they're so stupidly funny to me. That's why I watch them. But yeah, keep in mind this list is purely based on my opinion and from the films I've seen this year. Most of the films I have seen through these early 2000 years are mostly just childhood nostalgia movies, Disney movies, Pixar movies, DreamWorks, Harry Potter films, cool stuff like that. And without further ado, let's get into it. My 5th favorite movie of 2003 is Kill Bill Volume 1, which is one of my favorite Tarantino films. I should really go on a whole Tarantino spree at some point. I already did that a few years ago, but I still haven't got on watching Pulp Fiction yet. Yeah, Kill Bill Volume 1, that last fight scene with Uma Thurman, the bride, slaying the crazy 88. Oh my gosh, back in the days when I made my leg videos where I took people dying in movies, put SpongeBob's "my leg" sound effect over it. I made a video doing that for the crazy 88 scene in Kill Bill Volume 1. Right before Once Upon a Time in Hollywood came out, and oh my goodness, I had such a great time editing that. My 4th favorite movie of 2003 is a holiday must every Christmas. It's Elf with Will Ferrell. Oh my gosh, this film is so charming, it's so heartwarming, it's so hilarious. There's so many scenes that just had me busting my gut laughing every time I watch it. When the Santa Claus comes in, it's Santa! Oh my god! And he finds out it's not the real Santa. It scares the heck out of all the kids. Or when he gets drunk with that one dude at the factory. And it has a cute little love story to it as well. Yeah, well, that Elf is, I still don't know if I have a single favorite Christmas movie. I have heard really great things about Violent Night, and I regret not seeing that film when I had the chance to do so. Yeah, Elf is a must every December, and that's a fact. My 3rd favorite movie of 2003, man, end of the semester band class was never the same thing again. School of Rock with Jack Black and Miranda Cosgrove. Oh my gosh, I've watched this movie so many times, especially in band class, because I played tuba at the end of elementary school and throughout middle school and high school and, spring semesters at CSU. Yeah, we would always watch School of Rock at the end of every semester, and this film still cracks me up very much with Jack Black and Miranda Cosgrove, and oh, there's so many quotable lines, and the soundtrack is just so killer. Yeah, it's one of those films that you can just whenever you're having a bad day, you can just go back to it and watch it and just feel better about yourself, or jump around certain scenes in it. Yeah, that's what School Rock is. It's definitely one of those comfort movies. And my second favorite movie of 2003, oh sorry, my camera got a little fuzzy there. My second favorite movie of 2003 is Finding Nemo. This is one of the first films I like vividly remember seeing in theaters with my parents and my grandparents. My grandparents came up from Florida to visit us, like way back when this film was released. The first movie my first memory was watching Monsters Inc. with my family in my living room. But Finding Nemo, it was this and Brother Bear and one of the Scooby-Doo movies, one of the live-action Scooby-Doo movies. Those are like one of those three films I want to say was like the first film that like I vividly remember seeing in theaters as like a little kid. So I have so much nostalgia on Finding Nemo. My little cousin Jonas especially was obsessed with Finding Nemo when we were kids. Like we had a whole Finding Nemo themed birthday party for him when he turned like 4 or 5 or something like that. Yeah, like the ocean again. I just finished a zoo internship here. I've had a passion for animals ever since I was a little kid. So I have Finding Nemo to thank for enriching my love of like the sea and like sea creatures. I remember like seeing blue tangs at aquariums, be like, "Look, it's Dory." Or when I see a clownfish, you always hear kids at aquariums be like, "Oh, look, it's Nemo" or "It's Marlin." And yeah, Ellen DeGeneres, did a great job voicing Dory before her career just absolutely collapsed. Oh man, very disappointed of how far she's fallen from grace. But hey, we still have her to thank for, Dory and and Finding Dory is a really good film too. And it's like, it's very quotable. Be like, hey, just keep swimming, just keep swimming, just keep swimming, swimming, swimming. I still hold on to that quote very dearly because, leaving Nebraska soon and my year's gone off to a stressful start, with my internship ending and having to move again and stuff like that. But hey, you gotta make the most of bad situations. And like I say, just keep swimming, just keep swimming, just keep swimming. And finally, my number one favorite movie of 2003 is kind of like, this film's trilogy is kind of the reason why I make these videos on an annual basis in the first place. And it's not just my favorite movie of 2003, it's also personally my favorite movie of all time. And that, my friends, is The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King. I was actually on the phone with my friends Danny and Shane last night, and they were, that was someone I was preparing this video, and Danny was like, hey, you should, it's like, I was one who suggested you do these, like, top 5 movies of, films that are turning 20 in their respective years, right? Because back in 2021, he was like, hey, you should make a video honoring your favorite movie 2001 since, Fellowship of the Ring turns 20 years old. It turned 20 years old back in 2021. I was like, yeah, I should. And I should do the same thing for 2002 and 2003 films as well. Because, yeah, the Lord of the Rings movies, I kind of view the original Star Wars trilogy in the same way. I don't view them as, like, 3 separate movies. I view them as just, like, one, like, big movie, like, over 9+ hours film, just, like, smunched in like 3 consecutive chapters. So I can't really say like, I really don't like saying that like, oh, Return of the King is my favorite Lord of the Rings movie, or like Empire Strikes Back is my favorite Star Wars movie, because I just view them all as like the same film, just in 3 consecutive parts. I love them all equally, but again, if I had to choose a favorite Lord of the Rings trilogy, I would say Return of the King, because it's just like, it's just the how-to guide to ending a film franchise. Like everything came full circle, everything. There were no loose ends that were untied. Like Peter Jackson's direction and Ian McKellen as Gandalf, Elijah Wood as Frodo, Andy Serkis, the one and only Andy freaking Serkis as Gollum, and Viggo Mortensen as Aragorn, Orlando Bloom as Legolas, like the Hobbits, Gimli, Eowyn, just so many like unforgettable characters and glorious action scenes, like the Battle of Pelennor Fields and like the Storm of the Black Gate. I rewatched the whole Aragorn speech scene. I did so every finals week, like right before taking my final exam of the semester. And I watched it and I just felt so empowered. I feel like managers at stores should do the same thing for their employees on Black Friday, or like bar owners should do the same thing for bartenders on New Year's Eve and holidays like that. That'd be hilarious. But yeah, like if I ever, back in October when my YouTube channel turned 9 years old, I made a video, around that time I made a video for a review, a classic review for Avatar, because Avatar is another one of my all-time favorite films. That was over like 40 minutes long. If I did that same kind of video for like the Lord of the Rings trilogy or any Lord of the Rings films, like it would be in a similar way. It'd be like super long, super spoiler heavy, And honestly, that's why I don't really want to do it, because I know this is not going to be a review. It's just me basically sending a love letter to my favorite movies. And yeah, it's like, I'm a very creative person, I'm a very imaginative person, and I have the Lord of the Rings and other like fantasy classics like Harry Potter, Skyrim, Pokemon, Avatar: Last Airbender, and all those other like childhood favorites to thank for inspiring me to write fantasy and pursue like a creative writing career and a zoo career as well. Like, I really hope I can do both someday, and maybe get my YouTube channel monetized, but Lord knows that's ever gonna happen. Well, that's it. My last video in Nebraska, and there you guys have it. My top 5 favorite movies 2003, and also the last of like the top 5 and top 9 videos I'm planning on making this January. I want this to be like an annual tradition on my channel, where like at the start of every January I do like a whole top 5, top 9 week, you know, full just like top 5 and top 9 videos. My apologies that I didn't get to upload them as like consistently as I was hoping to. So hopefully when 2024 rolls around, I can just like between January 2nd through January like 8th or 9th just bing bang boom you guys with you know, top 5 and 9 videos. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and to all the wonderful people I've met in Nebraska, whether it's at the zoo or while door dashing or at Safeway, the grocery store I used to work at, or anywhere else in this lovely little area. You know, I thank you all so much. The last 12 weeks have been, oh man, it's been a huge blessing. And I'll never forget it. Hopefully I can come back someday. I would love that. All right, you guys rule. Stay beastly.